Hello. How are you guys? I was thinking about something and everybody's sleeping, so I'm here in this basement. So this is why everything looks kind of basement-y. Um, there's some people who don't have basements because of the water level and everything, and so they can't build below the ground, and so they have like other things. They have attics. Some people have basements and attics. Not addicts like people who can't stop doing something because they're addicted, but like high up basement type things on the top of the house that you have to take a ladder to get to, and they usually just use for storage or whatever. I don't know. I'm glad you guys are finding some educational moments in this. I think we're all learning something. Anyway, my point was not to talk about any of that. It's to talk about people who insult you, people who call you names, people who make you feel bad, people who look at you funny, and it shakes you up and it messes up your day. It might ruin your mood for over an hour. You might be thinking about it for weeks, depending on who you are. Now the average person will, shake it off. If they're really annoyed, they'll tell their friend about it, and their friend will be like, don't worry about that person. They're just jealous, or, whatever, and then they feel better. Yeah, that's right, and that's part of why we like friends. One of the many reasons is they help us see from another perspective, so that we're not all stuck in our own head and what that comment just made us think or feel. But it blows my mind that, like, some people, they'll exchange insults back and forth, and it's a game, and they get tougher, and they, how bad can they insult the other person, and how bad can they take an insult and bounce right back, and even if it hurts, their pride helps them overcome it, and bam, and whatever. And then there's other people who you tell them that their shirt is a little crooked, and they're devastated for days. And for you out there, whoever you are, maybe you're more on one side of the spectrum or the other. Maybe you're really tough and you can like throw down with crazy insult wars, or maybe you're just more sensitive or whatever. Maybe you're sensitive and you don't want to be, but you hate it, but it gets you when somebody says something that's really bothering you. So with this incredibly long intro, basically I wanted to get to the point is, why do insults hurt us? And there's two reasons. For an insult to work, one, there has to be an element of truth to it. We are somewhat what that person said. And number two, it has to bother us. We don't want to be what that person said. So let's say that you're insecure about your weight, your height, your looks, your intelligence, your skill level at something, your age, your ability to make friends, your ability to meet somebody you really want to, on and on and on. There's so many things that somebody can be insecure about. And if someone points out one of those things, you're already insecure, and then they put it in an insult, boom, that hurts. And you got to get over that. And there's really two different things in life. There's things we can change and things we can't. That plaque on everybody's walls, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I can change, and the wisdom, that the courage to change the things I can, the serenity to accept the things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. I used to have a family member who had that up. So it's all about, there are two things. Like, either you can change the things that are bothering you about yourself, or you can't. And if you can't, then you gotta not just find a way to accept it, but understand that the universe, or whoever is above you, whatever you believe in, intended for you to be that way for a good reason, and you don't see the blessing in it yet because you see it as a negative right now. Like I'm right now seeing this harsh light hitting my face and trying to find a better angle because it's creeping me out the way this fluorescent light is hitting my face at certain angles. But where was I? Once you let go of the things you can't change, not just let go of them like, oh, I guess I'm never going to be as tall as I wanted, but seriously be like, the universe doesn't want me, or God, or whatever. I'm not supposed to be that thing, and there's a really good reason for it. I'm supposed to be something way better than I ever imagined, and those things I'm insecure about that I can't change, like the number of siblings I have, that there's a reason that I don't see yet that's going to make me a more unique and better person that the world needs than ever would have happened without those circumstances. So that's the big thing of accepting. And then there's the other side. The other side is the things we can change about ourselves that bother us. Our weight, maybe. Our muscle strength, our health. You can do a lot about your health, no matter who you are, where you are. There's usually some things you can do to improve your health. Your skill level. Almost anybody can improve their skill level on anything that's important to them. Well, anyway, you can think of things. I don't have to name them. But back to the insult. When somebody's attacking you, it falls into one of two categories. Either they're pointing out something that you haven't let go, that you need to let go because there's no way on earth you could ever change it. And not just let go. You have to be thankful that you're that way. And they're pointing it out that you still have an insecurity or it wouldn't hurt. If someone insults you about something that doesn't matter at all, it's the funniest thing ever. Like, that, you expected that to hurt me? Try again. Try again. Like, it's like someone telling you, you're blue. You have blue skin. Do you realize you're blue? And you're like, wait, what? I'm not blue. I was never afraid to be blue. It never entered my head. I don't know what you're talking about. Like if some alien came down and tried to practice insulting us and called us blue or something, we'd be like, but we're not. And that we don't want to be. And what are you talking about? If someone insults you or tries to, and it's not something that you care about, that's awesome. That's funny. If you do care, then think of it as a way of they're helping you. They're not meaning to help you. They probably want to hurt you. They're probably malicious, although they're not always. Sometimes people insult you because they're actually constructively criticizing you. They want to see you change. They want to see you be better or different. Sometimes this will often come from a family member or a close friend. They'll say, you really are bad at that. And they're not saying it because they want you to cry. They're saying it because they know you can do better and they want to prompt you to do better. And they know the first step is seeing that you're not doing what you can do. And so they poke you with that harsh criticism. Sometimes those are, there's a proverb that says, the wounds of a friend are sweeter than the compliments of an enemy. I don't even think I said that right. It's way different than sweeter. They're like night and day better. But so sometimes insults are not insults. They're supposed to help you. The person meant to help you. But sometimes a person does want to hurt you. And even then, they are a help to you. They are a little servant. Those insults are little servants coming to poke you and make you a better person. Because they're exposing either one, something that you did not learn to be thankful for that you can't change, or two, something that you can change and you're not. You're running from it. You're hiding from it. And you have all the tools at your disposal to change it. You have the time. You have the ability. You have the place. You have everything set up. And yet you're not doing it. You're not taking that step because there's fear. Because there's laziness. Because whatever the reason is. And so that insult, boom, is the extra little sting to get you up off your butt and get you changing the thing that you really need to change. So hopefully this will help some of you, because I read all your comments. I still read all your comments. I will read all your comments until the day when, if they start coming in, I watch other huge channels and the comments come in so fast they couldn't hire a team of 10 people to read them all. But until that day ever happens, I read every single one. Um, and I want to respond to every single one. But I take a deep breath and I try to respond only once in a great while, because a lot of them, I just feel like you want to be heard. And so I put that heart and the like to let you know that I definitely read that comment. I won't put a heart or a like until I thoroughly read the comment and digested it and appreciated it. So understand that. But what was I saying? I'm throwing myself off on a tangent again. The insults, yeah, a lot of you express insecurity and about different things, and I don't know if all the insecurity always comes from insults, or if you're just insulting yourself, because that's very common. You're just telling yourself how bad you are and being negative and just drowning in a pool of your own beating yourself up. But when it comes from someone else, it especially stings often. And what prompted this whole thing is, I look at other channels on here, and there's every once in a while I find one that's a little bit ahead of me, has a little bit more subscribers, their videos are a little bit more viewed, and I say, okay, that's the next one I'm going to catch. I'm going to surpass that one. I'm going to do all the things I can to grow past that. As fast as that channel is growing, I'm going to try to grow faster. And it's a fun game. I used to do it when I was, here we go. Probably a lot of you don't know this, but I was in the Army National Guard years ago. And when I was running the 2 mile, have to run 2 miles in a certain amount of time to pass the physical training part of being eligible to stay in the service. So when I was running, whenever I would do my 2 mile run, I always needed a lot of other people on the track, because that would help me. I'd look at the next person. Okay, I'm going to pass him. I'm going to pass her. I'm going to pass him. I'm going to pass him. And I could run much faster if there were a lot of people on the track. If there were a few people, and if I had spots on the track where I would just be completely running alone, I would slow down and get, not as energized. But if I had a quick, like every 10 feet in front of me, okay, now I'm going to catch that guy. All right, now I'm going to, not that I could pass everyone. Some people were really fast, but it was to try, helped me to speed up a lot and not think about the pain of running, but just go for it. So I'm doing the same thing right now. I'm, what's it called? So I try to find a channel that's just a little bit bigger than me and see if I can catch them. So there's this beautiful lady, not going to say who she is, but she does very intricate jewelry pieces that I imagine take hours, and they're way more advanced than some of the things that I normally do. And she had a bigger channel, and I just said, I'm gonna catch her. I'm gonna do all the things that I'm good at, which might be different, and I'm gonna try to get past her. And there was nothing wrong with what she was doing. Everything she was doing was great, and she's still growing. But that was my first goal, was to pass her. And now I'm looking at this new channel, and this guy, again, I'm not going to tell you who it is. Don't even guess. I'm not even going to tell you if you're right or wrong, so don't guess. I mean, if you think you know, then just smile. But there's this other guy, this artist, and on his channel, he gives a lot of advice to other artists. First of all, he's apparently a successful artist who is making his living selling his art. That right there puts him in a very small percentage of artists. So awesome for him. And if he's giving advice freely to thousands or tens of thousands of other artists out there, even better. Super. Great. That's great. But I I didn't really watch too much. I just kind of clicked around, watched a couple seconds here and there of different videos, but his channel was just enough bigger than mine that I said, okay, that's my next goal. I'm going to catch him. And so I watch every now and then. And as I was flipping through some of his videos at one point, I saw an entire video titled "Someone Insulted Him," and it threw him off. Okay, was this like some heckler who came to one of his shows and like threw rotten tomatoes at all his paintings and told him he's a horrible artist? And no, it was an online person who left a nasty comment. And it wasn't even a nasty comment. It was just like a maybe slightly rude comment. And this messed his head up so much that he had to make a whole video about it, talking about how hard it was to get over this insult for him. Now, honesty, I mean, I am not putting this guy down or anything. Like, I applaud that. He's being honest. He's being real. He's sharing. But I was like, oh my, like the amount of, do you want to see some horrible, nasty comments? I could tell you a couple of my videos to go to, and it blows my mind. People out of nowhere, there's like 99.8% of you are beautiful, gracious, wonderful, sweet, encouraging, loving people. And you put these comments that are just amazing. And then the 0.2%, maybe even less, that comes in once in a while, it's like the total other opposite end of the spectrum, and then some. The viciousness. And the first time it happened, I was much, much earlier in this channel, and I had very few subscribers, and it wasn't one person, it was like 8 people jumped on this one video and just started tearing it to shreds and attacking it. And I was like, what is happening? And I wanted to jump on all their comments and tear them to shreds, because I'm used to that. Facebook battles, oh my goodness. Like, I had 100 different creatively hilarious things to shred them with. And I had to take the biggest breath ever and be like, no, I'm not going in the mud with them. I'm going to just watch this play out and see what happens. Well, they criticize a lot of stuff I said about a particular medium I was using in this video. So I went to the good old Google and checked out most of what they're saying and found out that pretty much most of what they were saying was wrong. A couple things they were saying were a little bit legit, not enough so that I felt I needed to go and say, oh, you're right, I said something wrong in that video. I don't think I said anything wrong in the video. I think some of the things I said might have been a little bit more extreme than how they were, because I was talking about the safety issues with a particular medium. And you might be able to find what video I'm talking about, because it's hilarious. The comments are still there, and there's like a bunch of them. But what's it called? It made me smarter. I looked up all this stuff and I found out where they were right and where they were wrong, and they were almost completely wrong. So I was like, why are they so upset? And then I realized that they were artists who had made most of their art out of this one medium that I was just having a fun time with, because I've used this medium. They didn't realize I've used this medium a lot, but it was my first video introducing it, so they thought it was the first time I ever used it, and they thought I was just making stuff up as I go, and I was just giving my opinion about the medium. I like this is fun, this is not fun, be careful to do this, and they were freaking out because they had their own ideas about how the medium works, and I don't know, it was really funny. And the best part of this story is when they started putting a ton of nasty comments on there, my channel was very small, and that was the only thing that worried me, is like, is this going to turn everybody against the channel? Well, it did the opposite. They shared the video with all their friends to have all their friends come on and put negative comments, and it was the first video where I had more dislikes than likes for a very short time. But for a minute there, I had a whole bunch of dislikes, and that kind of was a little weird. But I just let it play out, and because they shared it with all their friends and it got so much activity in such a short time, it must have bumped it up in the algorithm on YouTube, because suddenly it boosted the viewership of not only that video, but it doubled the viewership of that video, and then a bunch of other videos started going up, and I realized it must have bumped me up into a higher level of the algorithm, because suddenly YouTube was showing my videos to a ton more strangers, and the channel was growing. So all these nasty people coming on this one video to attack it actually helped the channel grow. That's great. Like, I would have been happy if they just slowly faded away with their nastiness. I would have been really happy if I could have gone on each comment and just completely shredded them and said nasty things to them. Cathartically, that would have made me happy. But like I said, I don't want to be in the mud. I don't want to be that person trading insults. How nasty can you be? Like, at the end of the day, like, let's there's so much to be happy about, so much to be positive about. Like, there's no time for that, I think. Although I can't say I've always, towed that line, but in any case, so this video is kind of meandering, so it's just late night stream of consciousness. So sorry if you're like, what is the point he's getting to? The point is, insults only hurt you if there's a real thing going on that you need to change. You either need to be grateful for who you are, flaws and all, and realize they're not flaws, they're who you're supposed to be, or you have to find the things you need to change and change them. And be brave and start taking the steps and making the process, even if you only get like a 0.5% or 1% each day. And let those comments sting you and prod you and poke you and make you want to be better even more. Show those people that they're wrong. So back to the guy who has the channel a little bit bigger than mine, and he's giving advice to other artists. I almost don't want to say what the insult was, because then you might, if you know his channel, you might find the video and know what I'm talking about. And I don't want to. My point is not to bring attention to him or belittle him, but it was one little comment. The person called him a name. It wasn't even a nasty. It wasn't even like a curse word. It was a goofy name, and it hurt his feelings really bad, and it took him like the better part of a day or two wrestling with his emotions to figure out what to do about this one insult. And he made a whole video about it, and I was so blown away by the like what it. I mean, again, I don't want to insult him, but I was like, dude, like, I wanted to go on all his videos. This is how terrible I am. I wanted to go on every one of his videos and call him that name on every single one of his videos, on all the comments, and then go on another account that I have that looks like a different person and call him that name from that account on every one of his videos. Not because I don't want to, not because I want to be a mean person, but because I was like, dude, get over it. It's a stupid insult. Like, it shouldn't hurt your feelings. If it hurts your feelings, let's get you over this with some aversion therapy. Let's put it in your face to the point where it doesn't bother you anymore. Like, for real. You need to be tougher than that. You survive the art world and you make a living in the art world, and this little tiny insult throws you off. Like, wow. So there's another guy I watch, and he is humongous. He's not an artist, but he's a guy on YouTube, and he makes millions of videos or thousands of videos, and you probably know who he is, but or you could probably guess. But he's he says something that's like all of you should take to heart. And another part of the reason I'm making this video, he says, if someone has the free time to take out of their life to do nothing but drag another person down with a comment on the internet, their life has to be so empty and meaningless and boring. Like, why would you give them 1 second of your attention? Like, they're admitting to you by their comment that they have nothing else going on in their life, that they have to bring somebody else down to feel better. That's it right there. That should be enough to just walk away. You know? But be thankful for insults. They sting because they're showing you what you need to do. You need to be grateful to the universe. You need to be thankful for who you are in the ways that are unchangeable. And you need to maybe get off your butt and take a few little baby steps towards changing the things that you know you really do want to change, so that that insult won't stick next time. So next time you'll be able to laugh at it because it's as goofy as if they told you you had blue skin, because you've already become a better person than what their insult is saying. Anyway, this has been 26 minutes and 35 seconds of free association late at night. Now it's a little bit over that time. Have a great night, guys.